Hey, buddy, watch this.
Hello, hello, Regis Kilbin is the name and Hearthstone is the game, and this is a new deck spotlight on a Journey to Un'Goro mid-range beast hunter that was created by the professional player Sjow. And a lot of people thought coming into Journey to Un'Goro that the Marsh Queen would be the route for hunter's success, including myself to some extent, but the Marsh Queen has certainly not lived up to expectations thus far. No one has found a successful deck here in the first couple days of Un'Goro. But Sjow has proposed this alternative, which is just a mid-range hunter deck that relies on a few of the new beast synergy cards to create a lot of constant pressure in the early game that helps you keep up with beast synergy stuff more consistently than you were able to in the past, but also has some outlets for late game pressure that wasn't always possible in mid-range beast hunters in the past because they lacked card draw specifically. So, for instance, Jeweled Macaw is a card that you can get out early, can add some resources to your hand, but still sets up stuff like Scavenging Hyena and Kill Command and Houndmaster and everything else. So it's a small body, clearly, that doesn't do a lot, but it also sets up the new card Crackling Razor Maw. If you have this consistent of an option on turn one, with at least 6 solid 1-drops that you can play into Crackling Razor Maw, Direwolf Alpha, Scavenging Hyena, you can see how quickly the beast synergy cards start to roll into one another. But as far as the card draw is concerned, back on that point, Stampede is another card added with Journey to Un'Goro. So essentially all these cheap beasts that might otherwise be worthless in the late game or mid to late game become valuable again thanks to Stampede because they help you kick off your Stampede card draw and generate additional beasts. So even if you have 2 Alley Cats in hand on turn 8, and as long as you have a Stampede, you can still do something significant with your turns, which is a huge difference compared to what Hunter would do in the past, where they just top deck Fiery Bat and be stuck with a 2-1 on turn 8. So alongside many of the other beast staples in Hunter, the Kindly Grandmothers, the Kill Commands, Animal Companion, of course, Houndmaster, Savannah Highmanes, you can start to do some pretty crazy stuff. Some interesting sort of combos, I guess you could call them. Up first is Tundra Rhino is fantastic with Stampede. If you can get a lot of guys going at once, if you happen to stick a Tundra Rhino on the board and then cast Stampede, it can go absolutely crazy with how much stuff you can move forward. Scavenging Hyena, of course, is great with all these low-cost cards. Rat Pack is interesting in this deck because normally you would expect this to need a hand buff to be successful because this card really gets better the higher its attack value is. But ultimately, it still works in this deck because of all those different beast synergies, including even the new card Nesting Rock, which is good with multiple minions on the board only. And this is just a nicely sized body that's additionally a beast. Gives you basically your one sort of defensive option in this deck. And it only works if you have multiple beasts on the board. So cards like Rat Pack help ensure that you have some stickiness so that even if they deal with the first half of this, you probably have some stuff left over to Houndmaster, to Kill Command, to even set up Nesting Rock. So ultimately, these are just a lot of cards that feed into one another and allow you to do cool things. You also just have power cards like the Highmane down here for more control style battles in the late game. This just gives you a big threat. And it applies consistent pressure throughout the course of the game, capitalizes on its own board, and can very effectively kill your opponent too with things like your Hero Power and Kill Command and even charging Animal Companions and Unleash the Hounds. There's various ways to do damage too, so it even has outlets to finish games if the minions don't quite get the job done, if your opponent has enough board clear, and so on and so forth. So a very well-designed, consistent list as far as I'm concerned that does a lot of cool things and can go toe-to-toe with virtually any kind of deck, which I like a lot. So all that said, I think I've discussed the deck in great detail. So let's go ahead and take this mid-range Beast Hunter by Sjow out onto the ranked ladder and see it in action. I got to find it in my list of a million uncompleted new Journey to Un'Goro decks. So I'm not exactly at a high rank at this point in the season. Still sort of early, I guess, at this point. But that's because I've been testing a lot of crazy stuff and already testing some budget decks. So my rank has been basically flat since the first few days of the season. But maybe this deck will be enough to help us climb and find some success and move up a few stars here and there. So this is Mage. Most likely this is going to be some sort of Waygate Mage or Combo Mage. It could be an Elemental or sort of a Tempo Mage, but I think we need to move away from these kinds of cards. Direwolf Alpha is not necessarily a bad keep, but I want to make sure that we do get off to a good start in a 1-drop, and I don't think this is a particularly powerful card. It works better with things like Unleash the Hounds. It's better when you can drop it on a board that has already been established, and our hand did not lend itself to a board establishment, right? We needed more minions to actually play first. Otherwise, that just goes out there and it sort of dies for free. Kindly Grandmother is a fine play on 2. We didn't land the 1-drop like we wanted, but that should be okay. We can Crackling Razor Maw into this, maybe make a trade up with the adaptation. This is such a cool card. Does a lot of work. Flame guys here. So this looks like Elemental, not does not appear to be. This is a risky play, but it doesn't appear to be Waygate Mage. He obviously didn't play the quest on 1, so we had some signals already. But I think we're gonna have to roll with Animal Companion here, even though it doesn't feel great. There's a 2 out of 3 chance it lines up really nicely to the board. The Huffer is, of course, the ultimate failure because he has a pretty clean trade into Huffer, and in that instance, we'd only really get 4 damage out of it. That's fine. That's fine. I think we would prefer the 4/4 because we obviously don't have a board to capitalize on the attack buff from Leok, but this trade's fine, so it can do some good stuff. And the adaptation here is actually pretty nice. We can play both of these just to get them out. The Direwolf Alpha is not really going to help, I don't think, because we don't necessarily care about trading into the Igneous Elemental. I think we want to kill this because it represents slightly more of a threat. Even though it has less health, the damage can go higher, so we can minimize the amount of damage this card can do to our own board if we kill it now. So let's... There's a question if we actually need to adapt this, or if we could potentially adapt the Direwolf Alpha. But I think since this minion has a lot more output potential with its effect, and it's already on the board, I think adapting this one just makes a little bit more sense to me. Okay, we can get some plants, we can get a Divine Shield, or we can get a Flaming Claws. None of those feel particularly necessary right now. I think the Living Spores gives us the most value back. But we could actually do a fun play with Divine Shield where we force him to ping, but he may want to ping anyway. Actually, he's got the... we can't do the Divine Shield play, I guess, because this is already on the board. It wouldn't let me click off, so we'll just make the most obvious line here. He's got a good trade into this, but if he doesn't do it the right way, I mean, everything's at 3 health, so this probably dies to trades. But that's okay. What I wanted to do was attack first and then Divine Shield, so he was a 2/2 with Divine Shield, because that would have made it a little bit more difficult, theoretically, for the mage to deal with it. But ultimately that wasn't the case, but we were fine. This is a little bit of a flat draw. We could go ahead and Stampede. It's likely, though, only going to get me 1 additional beast, which is... I'm afraid that's just too weak. This guy has not run out of gas by any means. He has a lot of cards in hand, so... we might need to save this, in other words, for a more valuable play down the road. If we got a 3-drop beast, we could do a lot of work. We could get 2 cards back. I think that might be worth it, but for now, I think we just have to play this and hero power and make some unfortunate trades. There's nothing worth kill commanding here. I don't like a kill command. So this is just going to have to be a weak turn because our hand's a tad awkward. I mean, High Mane is obviously a powerful play next turn. It's unlikely that this guy runs anything like Polymorph, so this is going to potentially stick quite nicely on the board. And he's got some good trade value here, obviously, and a ping value too. So the ping does mean he can't play a lot, though, or at least not a lot of substantial minions. He can play a lot of elementals. My God, so many. Unleash the Hounds much? Oh, this is not a good hand, guys. This is very awkward at this point. I don't really... The only reason to trade, of course, is because these other ones are going to get good trades in the future. Otherwise, I wouldn't really see much of an advantage. Because, you know, face damage is valuable to us, and he's going to have to keep trading in probably anyway. Fireball is a good kill on this. Fireless Portal, it looks like. Maybe Blaze Caller. Yeah, Blaze Caller. The little guys are still going to be able to do some work. And Kill Command is likely going to line up a little bit at least. We can make a sort of bad trade here. I think we just have to Stampede, right? Like, I think we have to go for it. We're otherwise just out of cards. The question is, do we double Stampede? That would get us 2 new beasts off the first one. We'd have 3 mana remaining. So if we got a cheap beast, we could get 2 more beasts. I think it's time to make plays, guys, because our hand is very, very awkward. So let's make some plays. I think we have to just go for it at this point. No cheap beasts, though, so we kind of fail now. I mean, those are good minions, to some extent, but we really just needed 1 cheap beast to kick it off. I mean, most beasts on average are going to be lower than 4, probably. I don't know the exact numbers on that. Actually, it's probably pretty even now that I think about it. There's a lot of new big beasts in Unguro that weren't there before, so... thankfully we got at least 1 kind of heavy hitter here. But all of our late game draw potential is very tarnished now thanks to Stampede. If we'd played 1, we would have been able to play the Dispatch Kodo and gotten another card back in hand. We'd still have a Stampede, which would be an advantage. It would be basically the same spot as far as actual beasts are concerned. We might need a big Unleash the Hounds turn here with some sort of, you know, buff type card with Direwolf Alphas, but although I think we've actually already seen both Direwolf Alphas, so I don't think that's going to do the job. Just play the big guys and hope we get something to stick. Dispatch Kodo might do enough to this taunt, or, you know, Jaime might trade through the taunt to set up some good Unleash the Hounds value, because I don't really want to send 5 Hounds into a single minion, right? We want to be able to kill multiple things with our Hounds, but he's going to keep going wider on the board, it looks like, so this is going to potentially be a strong play. Water Ellie's a pretty big threat to our high main, but he's trading into the high main, so we're okay. Double Unleash the Hounds. Goodness. Our hand just has felt very awkward thus far for what I expect from this deck. I think we can just ping this with the Dispatch Kodo, Hounds, and maybe kill the Mana Worm, but have to leave the Water Ellie alive. We could actually double Hounds, but maybe it is worth it to double Hounds. Well, we can't really get value from it, though, because the board is too full at this point. So I think we'll hold it. He only has 2 cards in hand, so it's not likely to gonna get a ton of value later is the only downside, right? We could Hounds here and get 3 more Hounds, but I don't, at this point, feel that it's completely necessary. I don't necessarily want to kill this either. I just want to go face a little bit and start thinking about turning the corner on some damage. I don't know. It's only 2, and he gets a good trade back, but this can theoretically trade this way too. He might freeze it, of course, but we'll just have to see. That's going to be a good card for him here. He's got a couple ways to utilize that with the ping. Can kill some stuff. He didn't use it, though. Okay. I don't know, guys. We're kind of out of gas. I don't really see us getting out of this one. He's playing better stuff than us every turn. We don't have the Stampede outs because we unfortunately drew them both a little bit too early with a kill command in hand. And, oh, that's definitely the game. That's going to do it. The only out we have now is like some sort of burst damage with a kill command, Unleash the Hounds shenanigan, right? He's leaving a few guys up on board, so... But he's going to be able to do so much damage with Fireball, so there's just no route to victory here. We can do 7, 9. This could theoretically give me 12, I guess, so we're sort of close. I mean, we can kill the Antonitis to stay alive for perhaps a turn. I mean, obviously he's got 12 damage, at least 13, 18, 23, 26, 27 damage if the Antonitis lives. There's nothing here that can actually give me lethal, though, as far as I can tell. This could help, but 5, 6 plus 4 is 10. We can actually do 12, so we can put him within 5, but instead we can't kill him, so we have to obviously deal with the Antonitis. Oh, I thought I was out of mana for a second. Did not mean to click that. He has 9 anyway. How many fireballs did he generate? Just 1, I think. So that's 16, 17. Theoretically, we're alive if we just go face, I think. Maybe he generated 2. I wasn't watching that closely, to be honest. I thought the game was over. I didn't think we'd be able to clear and get out of this mess, but looks like he had just another one in hand, so, or a frostbolt. Yeah, that'll do it. I think our only choice, though, is to go face and hope. Pray. Okay, so that was a little bit tough. I felt like our hand was just not what we needed it to be, which happens. I think this is a pretty consistent deck, though, so that makes me a tad sad that our first game was not representative of that. But we'll see. Play some more. I have faith in this deck. Hunter has to be good, right, guys? Hunter has to have some way to win. This is it. This is the way. Ooh, all those stampedes. I'm going to pass these back for now. This is probably Murloc Shaman. I don't know for sure, right? But Animal Companion's a fine keep. It's a little bit slow in this deck, but we're very, very, very likely to get some 1s and 2s here, as you can see in our hand. So keeping at least 1 early game option ensures that we're not just totally out of the game by the time it matters, especially when we have the coin, and that's something that you can actually just play on turn 2. It's pretty safe to keep a 3 at that point. We'll do the Alley Cat instead of the Jeweled Macaw here, just because it gets more stats onto the board. Trades into more 1 health Murlocs and that kind of thing. We don't know for sure it's Murlocs, but that's, so far to me, been the most common archetype on the ladder. Could be Elementals too, but either way, this just gets the most stats out. Kills Totems, kills Murlocs, kills all the stuff we care about that Jeweled Macaw does not actually accomplish. There's a pretty good chance we roll a good Animal Companion here, and we're going to be able to hit face with Huffer. Leok helps too, so I think we'll go ahead and coin this out. The only downside of that, though, is we don't get to coin the Houndmaster on 4, so maybe we don't. Maybe we just play it a tad slower and make a big Houndmaster play. There's almost guaranteed to be something on the board for the Houndmaster next turn, so then we can combine an Animal Companion and Jeweled Macaw on the real turn 4. That's annoying, isn't it? This is definitely Elemental Shaman. We can still just trade in. There's 5 damage here with the Houndmaster. We kind of sacrifice the Houndmaster buff, but it gets that guy off the board and allows us to keep going. We keep a Beast up too as the 3/2 Kindly Grandmother comes out. So I'm fine with this. It doesn't feel super wonderful because everything's dying, but that's why we have the stuff out there, right? To die. To sacrifice itself for the cause. So, turn 4 Elementals, the Fire Plume Elemental will be pretty good to clear this. Tolveer is actually sort of annoying, because we're going to have to send something into that Divine Shield, it looks like. This sets up a good kill, but doesn't develop much. We could do double Jeweled Macaws. I hate sending this 3/2 into the Divine Shield, but I just don't see another out here. We don't have a ping effect in our deck. Animal Companion does not really help any more than Direwolf does, and in fact, it might roll worse. We can't activate the ping here or anything, so let's just suffer and do this. As much as I don't enjoy it, he's got some good taunt value here. I think we'll do 1 Jeweled Macaw and 1 Fiery Bat just to get a little bit more stats out there. Okay. Not the highest of rolls, but probably something we can get something out of, especially with Unleash the Hound's value with all these little tiny elementals that might come out. It's a pretty slow turn 5 if that's all he's got. He might have an Igneous here, some other turn 3 Shaman thing, Maelstrom Portal. That's not bad, but not... Oh, hit this, hit this, hit this. Almost. Never lucky. So we've got a good trade. I think we'll just Animal Companion and Direwolf Alpha. We'll hope for the Misha here, I think. Yeah, that's good. Helps protect our 1 health asset here from the Tunneler. Do we want to develop another minion? I guess so. We've already seen... I don't think there's any reason to go this way, is there? He's got a good Fire Elemental turn incoming, because he could trade Fire Ellie, the 4 health guy here. We'd have 5 damage on board to answer that if we played the second Direwolf Alpha. But I'm kind of thinking about saving it for Unleash the Hounds and maybe just playing the Macaw here It means we couldn't kill the fire elemental as easily, but the other Direwolf Alpha would still allow that. So let's go ahead and do this. Oh, whoa. Cool. It's a pretty good guy. Great with Unleash the Hounds. Jeez, what a combo. That's awesome. Oh, Jade Lightning instead? Okay. That's actually not quite as bad, because he's not developing nearly as good of a minion. That guy is actually not absolutely terrible in our deck. He could set up a pretty cool Stampede or something awesome. So, not that upset. I think I'll just Direwolf Alpha, kill the Spell Totem, and play the Pterodax on the Jeweled Macaw. I need to get this positioning correct, because it is going to be relevant. And I want to kill this instead of the guy, because it's more threatening with Maelstrom Portals and Jade Lightnings and the stuff this guy's obviously running. And we did it this way so that whenever we summon Unleash the Hounds, theoretically they'd be on the right side here. If we'd done it any other way, it would have not lined up as correctly. So we'll destroy this tiny dude and get a giant dude here. Can't be targeted, I think, is going to be rather valuable, because he does obviously have some spells. The only problem, of course, is still like Fire Elemental or Blaze Caller, but he didn't play an Elemental last turn, so the Blaze Caller is not a threat right now. I think just +3 health is going to give us more results than stealth. It's just going to prevent that Blaze Caller kind of shenanigans like I mentioned. So, I like that alright. Our hand is again, very weak. Very, very weak. We need a high main. We need some kind of minion that does something significant. Unleash the Hounds is going to start getting good here, it looks like. Real good, maybe? Oh, no, Lightning Storm. Okay. That's a pretty weak Lightning Storm. Just to kill one minion and damage another one a little bit. I don't... That feels like a pretty desperate play to me. Crackling Razor Maw is kind of sick, I guess. We could do it on a smaller guy, but I don't really see the point. I think we can just invest in our guy here. Do we want to go ahead and Unleash the Hounds? We've seen Lightning Storm and Maelstrom Portal. It could help us, you know, kill something. Let's just see what we get off this Adapt, I think. Wind Fury is, I guess, our best choice. Again, I don't think Stealth's going to help me a lot. I kind of wish we had some health. The Stealth might prevent it from dying to a Blaze Caller, something like that. But I've kind of messed up because I haven't attacked yet, so the Stealth is not going to work. And I don't, is there actually a, can you, I don't think you can cancel the Adapt once you've started. At least it's not obvious to me how. So I guess we'll just Wind Fury. Do we want to clear? Yeah, I think we might as well. Face damage is good, but Shamans are good with minions on board if he happens to run Flame Tongue Totem. Probably not. I don't think that's in this list that I've seen. But also, if he's going to kill this anyway with like a Blaze Caller, let's get some more value. Oh, but he was overloaded too for Blaze Caller. I didn't consider that. He still could have Fire Ellied, but he wouldn't have had the damage. Oh, he would have had it. He still would. He's at 4 minion trade. So we didn't Unleash the Hounds, thankfully. Not low rolled again, thankfully. So this guy's still alive. Stampede is an absolutely dead card right now, unfortunately. Ugh. I guess I Unleash. This is not Summon a Beast, by the way. It's Play a Beast, so we cannot kick this off just yet. We'll just go ahead and Unleash to do something with our turn. We can trade, set up, 8 damage to the face, or actually even 9 damage to the face, it looks like. Or no, just 8. We'll go this way so he can't technically kill our guy on the board. He might still be able to, of course, but it seems less likely. Maelstrom Portal again would do it, but that's about it. And we've seen both Lightning Storms and 1 Maelstrom Portal, so I think we're almost through the AoE trap here, guys. So there's the Blaze Caller finally. He had the mana at this point. It's down to 16, 14 as far as we can tell on the board. This is obviously got to be our Stampede turn, because otherwise we're going to lose the game. Just anything less than... Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Just a little backwards, but I would have loved to get this one first. Can't do anything with that one. I guess we'll technically buff the hyena here. Because this gets a couple good trades otherwise, and the one face damage is not worth it for the buffed Hyena. He'll feel compelled to kill this. It might set up some better plays in the future. So he kind of has two high-value targets here. The Addled Grizzly is actually also quite good. Not the crazy... Oh, no! Calamos is awfully good, though. My board is dead. This guy's intriguing, though, when we know all his AoE is now gone. Even Calamos is gone. This guy is a potentially game-winning minion. We can take him to 13. Next turn we'll have 10. I kind of wish I'd gotten something to play alongside it. The Highmane here, as good as Highmane typically is, I think the Sabertooth Stalker is actually the better play because it's nearly guaranteed to live and it's hexproof, unlike the Highmane. I don't know if this deck actually runs hex. I did not mean to have Twitch follower notifications on this video. Sorry, guys. Take that off real fast. But thanks for the follow, whoever that was out there. So, I mean, Kill Command puts us on lethal. At this point, assuming he doesn't get a taunt off of this, actually. Are there any... The Tar Creeper is definitely a taunt. Ugh. That's annoying. Now I don't know if we can win. We're seeing too much damage now. So Kill Command doesn't actually help here. Rat Pack doesn't help. Highmane doesn't help. Yeah, we're just dead. We wouldn't have had it anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. The taunt is actually relevant because we only had 8, but we played our outs to some extent. Can't beat the Blaze Caller into Calamos, apparently. Man, having trouble finding wins here. I was expecting this deck to do more, I gotta be honest. Negative 2 stars was not my goal for this deck or this video. But we'll see. I don't think we've hit any home runs yet, as far as just curving out perfectly and our opponent not having some sort of answer. That game was the early game taunts that really hurt us. So we didn't get enough chip damage early to finish the game late. Perhaps that's due to mulligan choices, I don't know. Perhaps it's just bad luck. Druid, now this is not something I've ever seen, but I think it almost has to be... Well, it could be a ramp Druid. I don't know. Unleash the Hounds is so bad against ramp, but it's so good against egg that if it's egg, I kind of want to keep it just to be safe. But I think maybe I just have to go for consistency of my early game plays. 2/2 drops doesn't really help. We're making a bold choice here, tossing this back. But I think it's more likely to be ramp than egg at this point. I've seen some ramp decks floating around. I haven't seen that many successful egg decks floating around just yet. Maybe I've missed them. I might regret this to a dire extent. Did not land a 1-drop, unfortunately. It's really sad. I'm almost to the point where I think you've got a hard mulligan for 1-drops. So it's just Jade. Okay, I think that's actually good for us. I think that's important for us. We'll toss this out. He can trade for the first half, but that's what we want anyway. If not, we get to cool Hyena, perhaps buff. Might just also play the Alley Cats to get more stuff to buff the Hyena later. One turn off the Houndmaster. If I trade here, we'll have a 4/3 and a 3/2 on the board. The 2/2 and the hero power could kill my Hyena pretty nicely, but then I'd be left with a couple minions. Swipe would not really be that effective against the board. He could kill everything, but it wouldn't feel like the greatest swipe in history. I don't think. Well, it'd actually be pretty good. He'd be able to run in the 2/2 to the second half of the Grandmother, swipe the Alley Cats. That would be pretty disastrous for my turn 4 Houndmaster and my turn 5 at Nesting Rock. But Unleash the Hounds is not a good play. I don't think Hero Power Alley Cat's right. I think we kind of just have to go for it a little bit here. I think we got to go for it. This could backfire, but we'll see. I don't know that we can play around swipe just yet. Turn 4 Houndmaster feels real bad, though. I know that. Don't top deck it, dude. Don't top deck it, dude. That's not so bad. We're fine with that. Means we get a good Houndmaster. And probably a good Nesting Rock, too. Whew. That was a narrow miss, guys. I left the cuter one unbuffed, so it's more likely to live for all you people out there who love the cute tabby cat. I know there's a lot of you weirdos. Alright, Nourish is real slow. This is 8 damage on board. We're going to get a sick Nesting Rock. We could honestly maybe even consider the Tundra Rhino. Just to set up for a future turn. Because this is almost certainly going to live. And it does some damage now. Like a charging Nesting Rock is kind of sick, guys. Let's do it. He can obviously kill it with Swipe. Wrath, some sort of combination thereof. But this just applies so much damage and sets up for a kill next turn so easily if it lives. And I think it's quite likely to live. It's more likely to live than not live, right? The 5/10 Ancient War here is sort of problematic. Nesting Rock and Houndmaster and the 3/3 would get through it to some extent. Claw is not going to be strong enough on this turn for him to win the game. Arcane Giant isn't either because we can just ignore it. We have enough health that we don't have to deal with that at all. Oh, charging High Mane is even better than charging Nesting Rock, guys. What do you think? Jeez. So well played. All right. That's what the deck is supposed to do, I think. We lucked out a little that he didn't have the swipe, but we made the right play, I think, in the long run. So that was a lot of fun. That was cool. I like that. Tundra Rhino is awesome. What a cool card that never gets played until now. It got played some back in the day, I suppose, so I shouldn't give Tundra Rhino too hard of a time. It has certainly been a successful card in the past from bygone eras. Alright, so Rogue is going to be a challenge always, I think. This darn quest stack, I haven't figured it out quite yet, how to beat it. I think we just got to get a lot of pressure out very, very quickly and kill him before he pulls it off and kills us really rapidly. I don't love my hand. I kept the Hyena because it could give us a really nice big early game body that he just can't answer because all they really have are like Eviscerates and not Saps and all that fun stuff. But this could also be Miracle. Miracle Rogue is definitely picking up steam. A lot of people think it's actually the better version of Rogue in Journey to Unguro. Miracle Rogue with Razor Petals and Sherizen and everything, which blows my mind. All seemed like terrible cards. But people are making lists work, which is awesome. Really fantastic. The Hyena is not great because we can't kill anything, so we'll just play this out and see what happens.
I can't do that.
Alright, so he's going to take 4 damage off that. I don't even hate, and he already took 3, so that's 7 damage, 1 drop, which is pretty good. 3 drop here is going to feel nice too. Unfortunately, we can't summon it on the left, even though it's what we'd love to do. Oh man, we're hurting this guy. Although it's going to be hard to finish, maybe. We'll see. This looks like Miracle to me. He would have already done some shenanigans with quest. I mean, he didn't play the quest, obviously, so I always forget that. Like, that's the first signal, right? Is that they didn't play the quest, so. Whoa! Now that is a card I have not seen in any of these lists. Oh my goodness. I think we just put this to 7, right? Like, protect the Direwolf to some extent. And it goes up to enough health that you know, if he does have an immediate kill, it's not obvious to me. And if he has to use his weapon, this does more damage than if he has to use the weapon on the Direwolf. So I think this is the right line. And plus, he's just so dead. Like, our hero power is going to kill him before too long. And if he leaves any minions up, unleash the Hound. Oh, I did not mean to Happy New Year. Did not mean to BM. I meant to well played. There we go. I can't click it. No. Alright, so that also felt really good. So we're 2-2 at this point, which feels much better. And those last 2 games, I think, gave me a better sense of what this deck can actually accomplish. So we'll play one more, since those went pretty fast. One more game with the Midrange Beast Hunter by Sjow. I'm sure this deck has some refinements to be made, too, as the expansion wears on. But this feels like a tight list to me already. I like what it does. I like the curve. We're playing another Hunter here, so I gotta be honest, guys, I have never played a Quest Hunter yet. So people were testing it out, I'm sure, on day 1, but I just never ran into it. And I think it's fallen out of favor so fast that I may never play against a Quest Hunter. We'll see if this guy is. Nope, not a Quest Hunter. I think we just go for the Razor Maw here instead of the Direwolf. The Direwolf's better with multiple minions on board. The Hyena obviously doesn't get value, so this is much better with just 1 minion on board. Do we like +3 attack better, or do we actually like Wind Fury better? Wind Fury is only worth 2 damage, so I guess we don't like Wind Fury better. We like +3 attack. And I don't really care about can't be targeted because it's unlikely he has some sort of ping effect anyway. If he's going to kill this, it's going to be like Unleash the Hounds or something. So this just gives me a ton of damage, and we're already winning the race to a great degree if this is a face damage race kind of thing. His hand... Oh, no. That is not a great play. That is 100% not an awesome play, unfortunately, for him. We're going to get to buff this Hyena. We're going to make the trade, obviously. It's very worth. And we're still going to kill this guy because, again, 1 health is not something that a hunter is going to find very easy to do. And we'll go ahead and play the Fire Bat as well. So now our board is just insane. Having the 1-drop and him not having the 1-drop put me so far ahead in this game because of Crackling Razor Maul and all those B synergies we talked about when discussing the deck at the beginning of the video. Those are just so strong. And look at this. He's taking 4 damage, but we have 7 on board. This is going to make it even worse. Like, this game is just over. Our hero power is going to kill him so quickly, and he's not going to have an option here, an answer. 7 cards in hand. Too slow of a start. Tough road for Sleepless here, unfortunately. I don't know if it was a mulligan issue or just didn't have the cards. Sometimes that happens. We saw it in the first 2 games, but man, we kind of slogged through those first 2 games with awkward hands, and now everything has lined up beautifully in these final 3 games. So he does finally land the kill there, but it's just not going to do the job. He's dead to hero power at this point. It's pretty sad. And here's yet another Dire Wolf to rub it in. We can even go this route and kill him with the full mana Unleash the Hound. Wow. Not hounds, hound. We just unleashed 1 hound. And there you go. That's why win streaks are amazing. We ended up, even though we're only going 3 and 2, won them in the right order and gained some handy stars. So, cool. That was awesome. I wish those games had sort of happened in the opposite order, so people tuning into the video caught the good stuff at the beginning and didn't leave and say, this deck sucks. But it felt really good at the end. Once you get the things in the right order and you don't draw the early kill commands and the early stampedes, and you get the beast pressure that you're looking for in this deck. As you can see, the curve really strong in the first 3 turns, obviously, so you can apply early pressure very easily. This deck flies. It's fast and it's fun and it's obviously got some meat to it. I don't know how competitive it is at a high level, but clearly something you can ladder with if you got some Hunter quests. Maybe if you got some of the cards in here that fit from Journey to Unguro. And by the way, there's not that many Journey to Unguro cards here, which is interesting, but I think they're important enough to this deck, even though we didn't really see it. Stampede, Jeweled Macaw, they both give you late game depth that was otherwise impossible for Hunter and didn't ever give you win conditions in the past to win slower games. These cards theoretically do give you some outs in slower games. Plus, I think we saw just how good Crackling Razor Maul was. This card was actually insane. So this is another little addition, but makes all the difference for taking advantage of those early 1-drops and making your deck much stronger and much more consistent. So it really just takes a few new cards. I guess 7 out of 30 of this were new cards from Journey to Unguro to make a deck like this much, much stronger. So a very fun and interesting list by Sjow. Thanks for putting this together, Sjow, and I encourage you guys to give this one a shot. All that said, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions about this deck, leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to read everything. I probably won't get the chance to respond all that much, but I'm sure the community here will also chime in. And thank you guys for watching, and until next time, game on.